Anything else? You think it?
No, I think it's good.
Pretty okay.
Yeah. He might.
Hey, Monica, where are we today?
I think we're in your office.
Throwback.
Yes. It's good to see you today.
Nice seeing you.
So what are we doing?
Well, Monica stopped by. You recently sold your house.
I did. Well, it's under contract.
It's under contract, and we were talking. There's some great lessons learned here. There's some things that we talk about to sellers all the time, and it was really kind of interesting for you to kind of go through the process as an agent and the seller.
Yes.
And kind of experience some things, and we're going to talk about it because there's it's some good stories.
Yeah,
there.
you and I talked about this before we listed the house, that there was a lot of things we told you as the sellers to do that we advise, and actually doing all those things was definitely an eye-opener. I would say I underestimated 100% how emotional this could be. We come into your homes, you welcome us in, and we give you the things we think, and we're definitely empathetic on what you're going through, but actually experiencing it,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah.
It's tough. So, but we did all the things that we preach to do,
So a lot of times when we meet with the seller,
Yeah.
Sometimes it's, we'll come in and we'll talk about, okay, decluttering the spaces, maybe finding out what's going on with the house.
So
what
we
the
did
value is.
declutter.
Let's talk about all the steps you
So
took.
you first said declutter. We did declutter. That was hard, taking down our family portraits, the things. Now we're in a space that doesn't really feel like ours. That's what we've heard from you. It definitely felt that way. I went out and purchased a couple little things from like Home Goods, just stuff, not expensive stuff, just to fill those spaces and those nail holes so they were open. And it did. The pictures did exactly what we thought. Like we always tell people, it made the spaces look bigger. It looked more like the buyers could envision themselves there instead of ourselves there.
Right.
It definitely
And
did.
you've got some adorable kids.
Yeah.
You got a lovely
Yeah.
family, but having all those pictures and keepsakes around the house don't necessarily help.
For sure.
Sell
And
the
we've
house,
always
right?
said we also don't want your kids to be famous on Zillow and,
Right.
and Realtor.com. Like
Yeah.
that was a big thing for just security purposes.
Yeah.
We didn't want family portraits up. So we did go ahead and did that, and that was tough, and we packaged that stuff up and boxed it and put it in our garages like we told you to
Yeah.
do. So we did do that, and it looked really good, and the spaces look bigger and brighter for sure.
Okay, and then let's talk about the pre-inspection.
Yes.
Okay.
So we hired inspectors here in Orlando, and they came in and pre-inspected the house and uncovered a big uninsurable item that we
What was that?
knew about, but I don't think I knew just how much. A 37-year-old air conditioning
That's older
unit.
than you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. No, we did, and so it was working great. And I can tell you that they don't make air conditioning units like they used to.
Right.
37 years old.
Right.
And you had mentioned before, even though we were servicing it quarterly and working well, that can't be insured.
And that's a whole other video. We put some out there, but right now, insurability of properties, especially anything built before 2000, when they changed the building code in 01 actually, the AC, roof, plumbing, electric, and windows sometimes will kill a deal or
Heater.
As a water heater. There's a minimum, you get halfway into a deal, and then all of a sudden you start haggling with the buyer and the seller, and it can really put you on your heels as a seller. So this is much about taking control of the situation as much as anything else. So
you and I
talk
hear a
about
lot of times where our sellers are confused by that. I have insurance now. Why can't somebody, here's my insurance carrier, use them? And that's just, the house can be insured now because we've had a policy, but a new buyer cannot get insurance on the property with those items. And
Right.
that's kind of what you're looking at. So even if my house was perfect in every single way and undecluttered and all those things, and I have a 37-year-old air conditioning unit, a buyer who's well qualified can't buy it because he can't get insurance. And
Right.
if they're going to get lending, you have to get insurance.
Right. And so you decided to go ahead and make a commitment to spend some money on the pre-inspection.
Yep.
Kind of get an objective report on what, this house that you love has been well maintained, but
Right.
what is going to pop up and what a buyer's going to see.
Right.
Talk about how that
There were a
assists
lot
you.
of little things that are on every house when we do inspections, and we didn't fix those things. Those things are just a handyman can come in, but we did fix those big items and kind of got after anything that we thought was sort of maybe a deal breaker or a big item, because we bought the house across the street, will be this person's future neighbor. We wanted to make sure that whatever we were selling was a good home for that future owner. So
Right.
we did. We went and did some things along with painting and touch-up painting and some just little tweaks here and there just to make the house fresh and new.
And so let's talk about the putting a value on it and figuring out what the price, figuring out the price of the house. That's obviously as real estate brokers, this is what we do. We can do this all the time on our own, but you did what?
So yes, you and I could do a CMA on properties, and we do it every day. We give values to you guys. But I went ahead and did an appraisal, and I hired who I think is the best in the business, and he came in and gave me a value on the home, and it was actually exactly in line where my CMA was. But the difference here is that I was able to advertise that appraisal on the MLS and to all buyers. I was able to, if you called and said, I want to see your house, I was like, well, here is the appraisal, here's the pre-inspection, here's the seller's disclosure. And it sort of gave somebody a nice little packet. They knew exactly what they were getting into. Okay, the value's here, I don't have to question it. And we actually were strategic about that as well. You and I have said, and a lot of times, here is where the value is. But I'm going to price it slightly below appraisal, because in hopes that that's going to create that, what you always say, that like energy.
Sense of urgency.
Yeah.
You want a sense of urgency. All right, so let's talk about that for a minute. So right now, when we're filming this video, there's a lot of talk in the media about the market has adjusted.
Yeah.
Interest rates are higher than they've been, for years now. Things are slowing down a little bit. What was your experience?
That's great.
Because,
yes, I love that the media says that it's slowing down, and you and I can't be any more busier. Things are still definitely moving. We received 5 offers in the first day, all above asking, clearly, because I listed it below appraisal, but all even above all 5 offers were above appraised value. And 2 were well above appraised value, 1 being cash and 1 being finance. And we went ahead and took an offer that we were really happy with, and happy with who our new neighbors are going to be.
And I think this is interesting because a lot of times when you're getting ready to market and sell a house, this is, for most people, it's going to be their largest business transaction they'll ever be a part of. And there's some strategy that goes into it. It's not just a matter of saying, hey, we're going to take some pretty pictures, put a sign up, put it up on the MLS. What Monica did here was some strategic moves on how she positioned herself in the market, how much information she had on the house, where she priced it, all very intentional, and it had the exact result that you were looking for in a market where some people are saying it's slowing down. She was the shiniest penny on the market. She removed basically all the uncertainty out of the equation, and then she had multiple buyers coming in and realizing, those buyers realized, okay, it keeps buyers honest. They're going to come in and put their best foot forward, and it puts more money in your pocket, a smoother transaction, and the whole thing works out better because of the kind of strategy you took.
Yes, like we said, a lot of times we ask you guys to do things, and I definitely, like I said, we're empathetic for how hard it is, but until going through it, I didn't realize just how hard emotionally it was. So doing a couple of these things helped provide for my husband. I do this every day, but it helped provide for my husband sort of a smoother, more predictable transaction. Also, just being in front of, I hate, you've heard me say it so many times, I hate being reactive. I like being proactive. I always want to be ahead of the game on these types of things. So it kind of gave the control back to us. We've taken out every type of thing that could be a what if, and we have things to back it up. So that really did help this, and we're super happy with our buyer. We're super happy with the transaction, although it is sad to see our house, being sold.
I'm sure they'll let you come visit.
Yeah, hopefully.
All right, anything else?
No, I just appreciate you having me in your office.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Good seeing you
Where
again.
are the pictures of me? It looks like you decluttered.
They're all over on the opposite wall.
Okay, very good. All right, thanks for having me.
Good seeing you.
All right.